Hi guys, how are you? Let me know where you are tuning in from. I would love to know. I actually just did a live a few hours ago, and I really wanted to share something else that was coming through, and how I feel like I've lived different lifetimes. I know that people who have reached awakening say that like they have lived different lifetimes in this life. So I thought I would share, because this is so important. So I'm gonna wait a little bit till people tune in. I want to make sure you guys can hear me and see me because I'm not sure my video is popping out. Oh, yeah, there it is, I think. Okay. So, what happened and how can you become your most cherished, loved, successful woman? As many of you know, I'm engaged. I'm so happy. It's been a year since I've been proposed to, planning the wedding. However, I had to learn how to be this high vibe, how to communicate. And I mentioned that in the first part of this video, and the first part of this series, not even series, of this thing today, this transmission that was coming through. Being I would like to name that toxicity unconsciousness. It was the belief that I wasn't aware of my surroundings. I wasn't aware of how I was showing up in the relationship. Hi, guys, welcome in. Let me know if you resonate with this subject, if you like advice on the subject that I'm doing today. Let me know if you were tuned in to the first live that I did earlier. Thank you so much for your compliments, and I really wanted to share this because I didn't quite finish to share the message that I was meant to share. The I've lived so many lifetimes in this life. So the version of me who dated my first boyfriend is definitely not the version of today that you're seeing right now. What was the mismatch? The Because the first boyfriend that I had cheated on me. We were both so young. We were both didn't know any better. We were just learning, right? But some people know to trust. Some people were raised that lying is not good. However, some don't know any better and they learn as they go. They do not know the consequences of their actions, right? Both of us were young. I've never done that in my life, but some people have it like that. Some people don't really know how to manage the need of needing external validation. Let that sink in. Let that sink in because it's really deep. Some people do not know how to handle the need for external validation. Fast forward to to my second relationship, I was unconscious. Even though I had these great values, even though I considered myself a boss woman, I was emasculating men. So I had learned all of these great things, but there was no balance. There was no in between. So I, in that relationship, I ended up blaming him. I ended up coming out of that relationship. I'm remembering now. I thought to myself, hey, like, what type of woman do I need to become to be with this conscious man, who a man who cherishes me, who loves me, who, that I can also be successful. I'm 30 years old. Thank you so much for all of your compliments. I do not smoke. Hello. Hi. If you A user says you're cute enough to start over. Thank God. If you want to listen the entire message that I was giving, just rewind back and watch at your own pace. Hello guys, welcome in. Um Hello from the UK, welcome in. Excited for you all to be here. This is for women. However, if this message finds you in a place where you feel aligned, the message is for whoever feels aligned the most. What was the question, Antons? What question are you asking? Do you believe in the afterlife? That's a very interesting. I think our soul serves a purpose, and I think we have lived different lives. So I think yes, to answer your question, yes, I do believe in the afterlife. Are my lips natural? Do you mean if I've ever done anything to them? I've gotten fillers, but long time ago when I was younger, when I was very young, actually. Anyway, continue with the subject. I forgot where I left off, but I wanted to mention that you attract your own mirror. I got out of my second relationship thinking, what woman do I need to become in order to attract this successful man? Like, I had become this wonderful, successful woman, and I was like, I thought I was acting correctly because I've been brought up with this mentality of like, you need to be independent. You need to do certain things. You need to stand on your own. You need to live alone, blah, blah, blah. And all of these things that society and as well as our parents have ingrained in us. But what is the balance between everything? Because those beliefs are very good. They have served a purpose, but why push it to the bottom, to the button of emasculated man, or like not being happy with your partner, or of like, so how, right? I was questioning myself, and that's when I started all of this transformation work that I do and share in my YouTube. If you resonate with this message, please go and follow, because I share content about transformation. I share content about stepping to your next version, to better yourself, to become the perfect balance of both energies. I don't want to prioritize one energy or over the other because both energies are intrinsically so important. Both energies are referring to femininity and masculinity. So how did I manage to become this higher version of myself? Because I'm not talking from a place of, oh, I've become, no. I am still on the way there, and there is never going to be an end point until you die. Essentially, you're here in this world to evolve. All humans have a purpose. All people have their own path. Let me know if this resonates with you. All the ladies here, let me know if this resonates with you. Let me know if you're attracting the right man. Like, where are you in your relationship? Thank you for your compliments. Umo says, how can happiness be described in a single in a single word? I think that's a relevant question. Like, it depends on on the person that you ask. For me, it's having balanced a balanced friendship, a balanced relationship. For me right now, happiness might be um having a loving relationship and also having a very successful business, transformation business that's going to help humanity. That's happiness for me. So it really depends on who you're asking the question. Thank you. Hi guys, welcome in. Um Contagious says, man, I'm single. I got one girl I'm taking out for drinks next weekend. Another married girl blowing me kisses, and another one trying to feed feed me her food, and follow me everywhere. What's your question? So to how can you actually become your most cherished, your most loved, your most successful self in a loving manner? How do you think? Yeah, it really depends on the person. It really depends on what you mean by being the most cherished. That might be with compliments, that might be with your divine union, that might be with getting a promotion or building your own business. Do you see how everything really changes when I actually put a meaning to each of every characteristic that I mentioned? So I was actually called to this second part of the live because I did the first part like in an hour or 2 hours ago. I was called to finish this and actually shared what had happened. And yeah, hold on. I was actually that woman who didn't know better. And I come to think about it now, that first desire that first need for me to want to level up and find my divine union was really the starting point of my evolution, of my transformation. Guys, I'm going to check your questions once I'm done with the message in a little bit, okay? Wherever you are in your life right now, it's your path and your vehicle. My vehicle was my desire of wanting to have a delicious relationship, um, conscious relationship, truthful, faithful, and amazing. Like that was holding all of these characteristics. Like it was a desire that came after my failed relationship. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, let me rotational date and let me see what's out there. Like, what do I need to do? Who do I need to become? And after I asked so many times, after I asked for guidance, after I really looked at myself, I could finally see and get the answer that I needed. And what was that answer? I needed to become aware of the parts of me that were being dismissive, of the parts of me that were craving attention, the parts of me that um, wanted approval, the parts of me were that was pleasing, the parts of me that, and I can go on everything that I had to see, and it was so uncomfortable to finally sit myself and actually witness that little Greta that was missing so many things, that was missing being seen, that was missing being heard, that was missing being held. Yeah. So if you're really desiring to get your divine union to level up, that divine union is your first step to becoming your next best self. It doesn't have to be that, but maybe that is one of the first steps. Thank you guys for watching. I am so happy for you to be here. Let me know if you're a woman and you're watching this live. I'm gonna go through the questions. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome in. Hi, girl. Mobin says, what's my job? My job is I am a mirror for people. Some people might call it coach, but I creating a community where people get to their next best self. And I'm hosting a live on June 30th, and I would love to see you there if you're being called to be in this delicious vibration energy, or you want to, feel, you want to experience what that feels like. I would love to have you there because um I'm just that's why I do what I do, to level up, to rewire what's happening in our mind. Not even that, to elevate the frequency that we're having. Okay. Um, 210 says, you have to take care of yourself because you can help others around you. That is so true because most women really suffer with this. Um, they take care of others and they put themselves last. That is not good. That is, I understand how that might happen with your kids, but not with other people. I mean, yeah, you have to put yourself first in order to be good. Yes, like Tony Robbins, but for women. It's a different vibe, but something like that. So how do you actually do it? How are you the next most cherished, most loved, the most successful? Um I had to learn so many things. First of all, I had to learn how to put up boundaries, but not even with friends or family members. I had to learn to put boundaries within myself. I didn't know whenever I got into a relationship, I would lose myself. What do I mean by that? I instead of choosing myself first, I would put myself second. Yeah, I'm engaged. I'm engaged. Anyway, so what does that mean? Let me finish the thought before I get distracted. Boundaries. You have to learn what comes first in your framework. What is your business and what is like how are you managing all of that? What are your non-negotiables for yourself? When you put yourself first, then it'll have a ripple effect for all of the people that is surrounding you. Thank you so much. Um for your compliments. I was really being called to do the second part of the live. If you want to watch the first part of this video of this subject, it is online. It's already up there. And I suggest you look at it because we mention a bunch of stuff that are so fulfilling and are so um interesting to put in perspective and to have in your mind to notice because that is the first step to have awareness. Thank you for your compliments. I suggest you watch the entire life so you can, like understand. Yeah, that's how I became my most cherished, my most loved, my most successful. And if you're a woman, you have your cycle. Like all of the energies that we have to put into perspective because we are going to have these ups and downs in a month. And that is how it's supposed to be. Umu says there's no empty look in your eyes. That means you're different from many people in this environment. I'm very pleased to have met you. Thank you for joining the live, Umu. Mobin says, where are you now and would you like to come for modeling to Dubai? That would be amazing. Send me an email. We could talk about that and what that Yeah, we can talk further through the email. My email is on the description box, okay? Thank you. Hi, Leroy. 210 says change is healthy. JFK said change is a lot of life. That's so true. Change is the only constant that we have in our lifetime. And you can even put into perspective your stages. Like when you're a baby, when you're a teenage boy or girl, then when you're an adult, when you're in your 20s, completely different than being in your 30s. And then when maybe if you choose to get married or not, like that adult life is completely different than everything that you've experienced. So change is the only thing that's constant in our life. How are you handling connections? Like, yeah, everything just goes in a loop. Everything is connected. If you feel, and it has to do with also like our energy as well. It has to do with our energy, the way that we are carrying ourselves. And you want, if you want to level up, if you know how to raise your frequency, that's how you manifest the dream. That's how you manifest the desire. That's how you manifest whatever it is that you want, raising your frequency in that area. Obviously, you have to focus in one area and then the rest will ripple its effect. Anyway, so one last thing that I would love to mention before I leave is that one second, emotions trigger thoughts, thoughts drive behavior, behavior reinforces identity, and identity generates more emotion. The loop runs on autopilot until now. So you're not broken. You just need to be aware and notice the loop that your life has chose to do. Okay. And if you feel, if you resonate with what I say, join in the live. I'm sorry, the live, the masterclass. In the description box, there is a link where it says join the masterclass. Just press on the link and leave your email, and I will be reaching out to you personally to remind you a day before. Um, if you haven't already, watch the first part um, of this YouTube live. Okay. Before I go, is there any questions? Are there any questions before I go? Thank you for your compliments. I appreciate it. One way to look at it before I go is that if you react and then you regret, that is, and then you start overthinking, that's a sign. Like you're not meant to overthink. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.